Hey, how's it going out there in good old radio land? Wherever you're at, listen, I don't know what you got going on tonight, but it's a good night to listen to these guys over here on this platform they got going over here on the re-up, whatever you want to call it. But listen, I'm on here because I want to just say a few words about a couple of my good friends that are involved in this here radio situation. One of them is definitely a dear old friend of mine. Worked together over there at the plant for a number of years. Old Deacon Seaworth here.
The plant?
Oh yeah, man. Hey, and they're still hiring like crazy. The plant's still hiring. They need people like you wouldn't believe. But Deacon Seaworth has always been a stand-up kind of guy, a guy that you could really, just talk to about anything you got going on. And he introduced me to a young lady by the name of LaSonia Wood years ago. And I just thank him for doing it. And she's just been such a joy in my life, just a blessing, young lady with a heart for Jesus and in a mind to do what he says and to do it to the best of her ability. And I met the bishop over there at one of those church events. I can't remember what it was, some kind of carnival or something. He was over there in the kissing booth, with a couple of people.
One good leg.
Oh, Bishop, one good leg. Let me tell you something. That guy, he's a hoot. He's a holler. He's a hoot and he's a holler. So definitely thank you guys for this opportunity. Like I said, the plant is hiring.
What's your name?
I'm Buddy.
Buddy?
Yeah.
Just Buddy?
Just your buddy. That's
not short for anything, just Buddy.
Just Buddy. That's what people call me.
All right.
And you can also call me by my initials. B-U-D.
Just Bud.
Bud. But my name's Buddy Ulysses Dennison. That's the real my official name. B-U-D. And people just call me Buddy.
Well, thank you. Thank you for coming and introducing us. Where you from, buddy? Texas?
No, Arkansas.
Arkansas.
Where old Jerry's from.
Oh, okay.
Arkansas.
Jerry, he's a good guy, but you guys ought to get him back on the show one time.
Wow. Okay. Well, if you're joining us for the first time, we got Buddy over here, and he's our guest announcer, guest introduction person every week. Mr. Dynamite and One Good Leg, Bishop One Good Leg, invite someone out to just bring us in with a bang. Last 2 weeks, missed you guys.
Oh man,
miss you and LaSonia Wood. How y'all doing?
Oh, we hanging in there. It's really good to be back.
You over there by a pool?
Yes, definitely. I'm just trying not to drown because I ain't up on no swimming lessons. I'm trying to be cool with it.
Yeah, your smile is so big and colgated today. I love it.
Oh yeah, I had to do that. I knew that camera's gonna be on. I knew you was gonna be here. I can't play with you. I got to be ready.
No, listen, you good with me. You know what I'm saying? We got love for you over here.
Already.
So I know LaSonia was out of town the week before last. You went out of town last week. Where'd you go?
I went to Oklahoma.
Oklahoma.
Broken Bow.
Broken Bow.
And it was
Did
was
you
an
eat
adventure.
good?
I did.
You found that seafood restaurant? I can't think of the name.
That or the breakfast spot. Neither one of them.
You had to. You drove right past it. I'm pretty sure of it.
It didn't look like I couldn't really tell what was
I'm
what.
gonna Google it for you the next time you go to Broken Bow.
Please.
I'm telling you, it's some good eats out there.
Please.
But y'all went out there and y'all was in the woods, huh?
We was in the woods. Man. Yeah, I had my blanket with me, and
Blanket.
Yeah, that's what I call my pistol.
Oh.
Blanket.
Oh.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah. That's what I call it. Yeah, because you put it on people, it's gonna make them hot, or you know what I'm saying, keep them from being cold.
You took that on vacation?
Always, especially in the woods. Yeah, you don't know what's back there.
Wow.
Yeah.
He believed in
I saw
that
a lot of deer.
peace.
I saw a lot of deer. I started to hit one of them, but I say, no, I ain't gonna do that. I can't come up here just shooting animals. You know what I'm saying? But that back strap on a deer, woo, that's a good heat. Woo. See, what happens is if you find somebody that has, that has killed a deer, chances of you getting that backstrap is pretty slim. They don't give that up. They'll give you some of the meat from the flank, or the other side, or the underbelly. They ain't giving up that backstrap.
Wow.
That's their ribs pretty much. Man,
Okay.
it ain't happening.
Okay.
They ain't giving it up.
Now I know.
You went out to Colorado, right?
Yes, we saw some red mountains. It was
Mountains.
beautiful. Beautiful. Loved it. Mountains, Segway riding. Went to Garden of the Gods. The name was interesting, but it was beautiful. So we had took a train ride through the rivers and mountains. Oh, we had a ball.
Well, that's what I'm talking about. I can tell you guys really, really missed you, but Carla Seaworth held it down.
Yes, she did.
She came in and she took over some. We did some relationship conversations, and yeah, she did her thing. So
Awesome.
all right. So tonight, as you guys have probably heard all week long, we have a very, very special guest joining us, and she's not new to the re-up. Actually, we interviewed her a couple of years back when she dropped a new track, and it was lovely. So we are really, really excited about having her again here with us tonight. So without further ado, I want to bring in Tiffany Jerrell. She's a singer-songwriter, just extraordinary. And the single she brought with us tonight, right now is driving really hard in the UK, in England.
Oh,
So we late. You got an English voice?
cheerio, of course.
I can't hear
Cheerio.
you. I can't hear anything.
It's top of the morning always here in UK, of course.
I can't hear anything.
There's the proper,
I
and then
can't
there's
hear.
the lower class, of course.
Can't
they,
hear.
they do like this.
You
I can't hear anything. I can't hear.
How about
Okay,
now?
there we go. I can hear you now.
You got us now?
Your face is coming closer and further away from the microphone.
All right, Tiffany, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm
We
so
are
excited
super,
to be
super
here.
happy to have you tonight. Last night had an opportunity to talk with you and just really catch up with you. But so I'm really excited for our audience to get reacquainted with you and to
thank
meet you all over again and hear some of this new music. It's really, really, really nice. I've been vibing to it all day and the words and the music.
Yes, it means nothing.
Nope. I want to see
Just hogging all the music.
all the music.
All the music.
That's it. Yeah. Because I want your fresh reaction.
Listen,
I want the fresh reaction.
That's me and you.
No, but I like seeing the real thing.
Okay.
The real thing. Like when you hear it for the first time, that face you make, that's what I want.
Okay. Well, we finna do that.
Yeah. So, Tiffany, we're going to jump right into some music, right?
Okay.
All right. Since Dion didn't get to hear
That all.
I think Lasagna heard some today.
Yeah.
Oh, awesome.
This is that kind of stuff. She ain't even here. She out by the pool.
So, Tiffany, you want to tell us a little bit about this song we're about to hear? I'm going to play Breathe, the single that's coming out in early September. Just your motivation and why you came up with this particular song.
Well, actually, Breathe comes from a really crazy time in my life. I ended up losing my grandmother. At the same time, I had found some heartbreaking news. And right after that, they diagnosed the breast cancer came back. So the attacks were so hard, it was like I was suffocating. And as I was praying, I was asking God, help me to breathe, help me to breathe. Because this time when breast cancer returned, they didn't give me a chance. They just had to remove it, all, take everything. And I had to go through 8 surgeries. The surgery, the main surgery I had was 11 hours. I ended up being on a breathing machine and 7 blood transfusions. So still going through all of that heartache, losing my nana, who was my foundation, and trying to find a new normal, all in that same time, in that same breath. I literally have found out that, and the doctors told me I had to fight this time for my life because it was the second time coming back. So Breathe came from a very painful part of my life, and just realizing who is the healer of it all and who can put that breath in you when you feel like you're so exhausted and you can't take another breath. He gave that power behind that. And it really is funny how it came. I just put on the recorder and it just started flowing out. And so when it did, I just went back and wrote it because it was already so, the words just came out like that. And then I went immediately in the studio and said, okay, I got to get this done. He was like, absolutely. So, that's where Brief stems from.
Wow. Wow. And I one thing I realized, and we kind of touched on this a little bit last night, a lot of good things come from trauma, from the things that we go through in life. A lot of things that can really bless people and really, take people, to a different place, because they can relate to what you're going through and what you're dealing with, through your music. It's amazing for you to put those words and put that music out there for everyone to experience. I'm loving it. And that just brings a whole different light to what we're about to enjoy and what we're about to hear too. Sonia, I know you got something to say.
Oh, I do. Man, you talking about crushing that olive and getting that oil out. I mean, that's where the anointing really lies. It come out of pressure places. We ain't gonna get no anointing. You don't get orange juice till you squeeze that orange. You're not gonna get that until you squeeze it. So it is amazing. Thank you for just sharing with us. Thank you for sharing your life with us through your music. Thank you for telling us what you're telling us. Shelm sounds like she can't hear me. Mm-hmm. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Yes, you can hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Yes.
Okay, because I can hear you fine. I'm like, I can hear her fine. But yeah, I just was saying the olive, you ain't gonna get orange juice till you put pressure on a pressure spot. And then with the olive, you're not gonna get that oil till you crush it. And crushing, nobody likes to be crushed, but everyone enjoys what happens after you're crushed, the anointing that comes out, the song that comes out. And this song is awesome. So it definitely came out of a pressure place. And I just want to thank you for sharing your life with us and sharing how pressure brought you to this place that the UK is going crazy. So now we're going to give it to America so we can go crazy too. Thank you so much for that.
Thank you.
Now, show.
I can't hear that.
Sheldon and Dion, if y'all talking, we cannot hear you.
Yes, we cannot hear you.
I can hear her. She can hear me, but we cannot
Yes.
hear you.
What's happening?
Okay, now there you go, Sheldon. We hear you
Here
now.
we go.
Son, you look like you're going through a transporter or something.
I
A
am a
teleporter
little
or
bit.
something.
being transformed. Mhm.
Okay, baby. Don't get transfigured though.
Okay, there you go.
All right, so let's get into this new track from Tiffany Jerrell. It's called "Breathe." You guys really enjoy it.
Feels like everything is changing, but everything is fading. A piece of my heart is gone, gone. Someone is calling, but so hard to hear through the pain of it all. Please find me, make me whole again. So many things are broken, so many things are missing. God put me back together again, swallowed by the pain. I know that I'm ashamed, so I must breathe. Breathe in here. Lord, I'm swallowed by the pain. Breathe in here. Lord, I'm swallowed by the pain. Turn it over to Jesus, 'cause he'll fight your battle, even though you don't understand it all. Oh no, drawing into you, so I will not fear, 'cause I struggle to get up, but God wants you to breathe, breathe in, yes, breathe into him. Lord, I'm swallowed by the pain. Breathe in him. Lord, I'm swallowed by the pain. Jesus, breathe. Working it out. Oh, breathe in me. Yeah. If you want him, you want him, you got it. If you need him, call on. Breathe. That he's working it out for you. Breathe in me. You gotta breathe. Yeah. I know it's hard. Sometimes it's hard, but you gotta breathe. Breathe him in, 'cause Jesus is the answer. He's the answer to healing. Lord, I'm swallowed by everything that you're going through, all of the things that you're going through. If you feel like that you can't go through, just breathe him in. God, breathe. Breathe in, breathe in, breathe in me. Lord, I'm swallowed. Breathe.
Wow! Didn't I tell y'all?
Off the chain. Awesome, awesome, and awesome.
Thank you so much.
See, music like that makes me wish I could sing. It really just makes me wish I could get in there and drop me something. It feels so good.
It does. Now Dion sitting quiet because he can sing, but me and Sheldon can only just imagine. I can only imagine.
All right, Dion.
Yeah, Dion got them. He got them pipes.
I believe it
And me and
too. I
Sheldon just
believe
wishing.
Let me know when you need some backgrounds on the
I
next
got
joint.
you.
You know what I'm
I
saying?
got you
Put
covered.
Hey, you can definitely be the star. You are the star. I'm gonna just play the background. Just be the background. That's it. That's it.
No, how about we just do the song together? How about that?
Oh, come on now.
So we heard like the origination of this particular song, right?
Yes.
You know, walk us through how you come up with a song. Like, do you come up with the music first? Do you hear the lyrics? Like, what's your modus operandi.
Oh! What?
Well, I have to say, the music usually comes when the words are coming. A lot of times I don't write first. A lot of times I record first. When God lays it in my heart, it just start flowing in a freestyle. That's why I was taught a long time ago, keep that recorder on you at all times. So now that our phones are blessed to have these recorders, I just, hit that quite often. But the song came in all at the same time, the beats and the lyrics. It just, I don't know why it was in my head the way it was, but that usually is how that always happens. So sometimes I just get in the booth in the studio and producers that know me, they'll just say, just go ahead and sing to, so it usually just comes out like that.
That's very different.
That's different.
Yeah. I commented to Shelton during the playing of this song that beat, it had a global feel to it, and what you could tell that it wasn't just a local joker doing something, to try to get notoriety. I mean, that already had that full, like I said, global sound, and that definitely is something that is going to help drive this global. So
wow. It's so funny that you stated that. They're playing it in London on a radio station called Amazon UK, and it is a secular station. And I'll have to send Shelton the recording of one of the things they sent to me. But he had advised. He said, "We never replay religious music on here, but something about this girl and this song, I cannot turn it away. I have to play." So God always told me to do it how I put it in you. And he said, you will reach nations. A lot of times people think we're just called in the church, but God always told me I would be outside of there. And so, we go into the church to get our foundation, our food, our healing and all of those things. But I knew that God is going to not just have me in that one place. I knew it would always be outside of there. So that's confirmation as well when you just said that. Wow.
definitely. I also told him while it was playing that you had that whole Kurt Franklin vibe going where, if you change a couple of words, it could be a totally different song. It could play on a secular station. And I guess that's, for me, confirmation. They're playing the record as far. I say that with all sincerity because the vibe and the feeling of it is very jazzy and it's very smooth, like I said, and it is something that the listener can easily go with, and you don't find that type of melody and that type of consistency, in gospel music right now. So usually they'll have a point where it crescendos and everything like that, but you kept that and it was smooth all the way through, and definitely a good song that, like I said, can play anywhere.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
I knew you would like it.
Oh, I needed to hear it. I mean, she should have sent it to me, I'm talking about first. I'm saying? So I could really, get ready for it.
Ready.
We got it.
You got it now. It's yours.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
He ready now. He ready.
I'm going to be in the car breathing. Drive down the street, just breathe.
So, real quick, we're going to take just a brief break, Tiffany, just for you to share with our audience how they can actually get this track, because I believe September 1st is when it's going to be released here in the States.
That ain't nowhere from there.
Yes, September 1st. I can barely hear you. Did you say September 1st?
Yes.
Yes. It's releasing on September 1st. We're hoping, we got our fingers crossed. We're trying to get everything together now. But I definitely will let you absolutely be one of the first people that know when it is out for purchase, for sure.
Absolutely. So, you said something earlier, right? That I want to touch on. Can you hear me all right?
No, it's a little muffled.
How about now?
Yes, a lot
That's
better.
better?
Yeah.
Okay. You said something earlier about, God, telling you that he wanted you to be you and
Yes.
to, make music that, as Dion pointed out, and that we all can hear that is worldwide, right? And it
Yes.
kind of brings the scripture, one scripture to mind that, we become all things to all men, right?
Yes.
And I love, what you said about, we go to church, right? And we
Yes.
have music that's there to exhort the church. But
Yes.
I also know that there's music that's out there to bring people in that,
Yes.
they got one foot in the door or they're just really confused about or really not sure about, who God is. And with
Yeah.
music like this, that is quality,
Thank
quality
you.
with good content, good
Thank you.
music. It's really something that we have to have more of out here in this world, to reach people. And I love that about this and about you and about your heart for your gift there.
Thank you so much. I
Do you
tell
have any
you,
more thoughts on that?
I will say that we got to remember not to put God in a box. Um, I think a lot of times churches, we get stuck in a way that says we should do it this way, that way. And the one thing that I know that God always said, he said, do it the way I called you to do it. And, and you have him speaking, and then you have the other people. Well, you're supposed to holler and scream. I don't really do that. I don't really holler and scream. I enjoy it, but so I had to always remember that God is the creator of all of it, and once it's about serving him, that's what it should be, the heart to worship the Lord, to serve him, because all of our purposes are to serve God. And we all have different destinies within it. And so he's always taught me that part, that's my destiny. It was prophesied, this oddest thing is, right before I got the mammogram that found out, the cancer had returned. There was a guest speaker in the church that I was in. He had come and was a guest speaker, and I was recording him, not like video recording him, but just his word was great. So I was just recording him. And so I was about to turn off the recorder, and he says, Tiffany? And I'm like bent down, about to turn on. Now look up like, huh? Was that my name? And so he said, Tiffany, yes, Tiffany. And I looked up, I said, like, yeah, He said, God said you will be dreaming again. And I'm telling you, I was so broken. I didn't think I could. I thought, who would want to hear my voice? Who would want to go? I just was going through a lot of that. And he said, you guys are not aware of this, but God called her to do that. She had actually contracts that she could live her life off well. He doesn't know that about me. God had to share that, because there was an offer for Warner Brothers for a $2.5 million deal. But what they wanted me to do, and this is what he said, but they wanted her to compromise her walk with God. And because she did not, and she was faithful, God got many doors open for you. And it is so wild at that point, because the day before that Saturday, I had went to my parents and I was like, do you think I'm called to do this? Am I supposed to go back to Texas? You know what to do, right? So all of these different thoughts were going in, and I had asked one of my friends back in Texas, am I supposed to go back to Texas, you think? And she's like, just pray about it. God's going to show you, you know. And my dad told me something, both my parents said something really great, but my dad has shared, he said, it's just like a GPS. When you're on the map to do God's will, even when you go off a little, he'll put you right back on track. And then my mom said, but sweetheart, you were faithful. When you were faithful, when they offer you, a lot of people wouldn't turn down no $1 million, $2 million deals. They just won't. And because you did, because they want to compromise that, well, God is going to be faithful to you. And so in that, all of that came back to the pastor the next day when he called me out. He said, and I was still confused about going to Texas. I was like, should I go? So the Lord responded by saying, his name was Pastor Harold. He said, I don't know if you're familiar, but God got a contract coming. And I keep hearing Texas. Are you familiar with Texas? He said, that's God said, that's where your doors are open. So guess what I did? After the 8th surgery, I said, you know what? And my mom called me at the same time I was at home. And I said, it's time to go. My mom called me within that hour and said, you know what? It's time for you to go. You got to go do God's will. So it led me back to here. And it has been such a different challenge for me, you know. The same producers I work for, they're not here anymore. You know, everything is new. And I'm like, I don't know where to begin, but I know it's in God's hands. It gotta be. So, you know, that's really what it's about. We have to remember to do it how God's calling us, you know, not what people may say, but God, because God's going to correct all of that anyhow. It'll fall into place.
Wow, that's good stuff. Lasagna, I'm looking at your face. I know you want to get in there.
Oh, yeah, she is amazing. Just even her foresight, even the thought process that she used to even write, and even what she's saying, it's even building me up. Like on the inside, it's like speaking faith to areas to just trust God. Go where He say. It's not always where the biggest dollar is at, but I believe He gonna make it up to you. Whatever you turn down, He got more for you than whatever you thought you would have got from them just by listening to Him. So this has been a valuable word, a valuable song, and you are valuable to the body. You keep doing you. I don't care what anybody says. You keep following God. You keep doing what He tells you to do, because I'm with Dion. That global feel is in that music, and that just cool. It calms you. Like if I was stressed and had a lot of stuff going, putting that on, it has a calm. It's like water. You know how water is in the background and just calming. So you are good. You keep going. And I'm glad you chose to share that with us before the release. This has been awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
And think about what you just said, Lasagna, right? And knowing the backstory of where this song came from, right? You in a place of turmoil, a lot of things not going right, but to come out with a song that makes people feel peace or at peace, that's amazing. That's God. You know, that's how God does things. And you know, Lasagna said the pressing of the oil. That's where we really need to be here. I want to play another song. Tiffany, and I'm gonna let you choose. I asked you to send me the name, so I know which one I can grab. But which one do you want our audience to experience?
I'm going to say Love Therapy.
Okay.
I choose Love Therapy because, you know, a lot of times as we artists are, it doesn't matter if you're a singer, a writer, a drawer, or whatever your passion is. In the artistry world, we're misunderstood. And a lot of times they can go run and lay on the couch, but mine is the words, my love song to Jesus. The best love language I have is through the therapy of singing. Um, one of my, I would say the most beautiful worship that I have is on my keyboard, just looking out the window and just whatever he puts in my spirit, you know? And so it's like our love language to each other. So love therapy also comes through a lot of things that I have gone through as well. Well, actually, this actually really came from hearing about some other people's issues. And because of that, it motivated me. It was like God was like pulling on my heartstrings to let everyone know that he is therapy. He's the love therapy. See, he don't have to conjure it up. He is love. So the thing is, when you put that song on me, it was to let everyone else know that he is our love therapy, no matter what our situation is. So anyhow, I hope you're blessed by that, but that's where it comes from.
All right. Well, let's get into it. This is Love Therapy by Tiffany Jerrell.
Yes. My direction was aimless, but you've been my navigation. My direction was lost, but you've been the compass that saved it. See, my soul was wandering without a path to heaven, 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 heaven. But you've been my stairwell
Lord, you're my love therapy. Love therapy. Oh, you gotta know you can talk to him, lean on him, rely on him. You got to know you can trust in him. He's right there. He is your love therapy, 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 therapy.
Yes,
Sorry,
yes, and yes.
we're back. Sorry for the technical difficulties. Don't worry, Tiffany. All of that's gonna get edited out. So,
Oh, no problem.
um, but beautiful song. I ain't gonna tell y'all that Dion couldn't hear it. His headset stopped working, so that's the reason why we were over here messing around with stuff. So I'll let you hear it afterwards, so you can stir. But another really good track. No,
Yes.
the buckle.
Oh,
Thank you
Really
so
good
much.
track. I mean, the people who needed to hear it.
I needed to hear it.
No,
I needed it.
no.
I needed it. I probably was the
Thank you
main
so
one that
much.
needed to hear it.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Can you hear now? Can you hear me, Tiffany?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Yes, I want to say that was great. You hit it again. I think this whole track, I think it's going to be on fire all over. So we're excited. Glad you're on our show. We're going to push it, and push it. And because we have few difficulties, you have to give us invitation to come back again. Once it's released, if we can get her, you might be too big after you get out there so long. They have to put us on your schedule or something. But think about the TheReuPLive family when you get out there, okay?
I would never
So
be
thank
too
you.
big. Never. No.
Well, I put it this way: that schedule might be too booked, even if you ain't too big. That might be the problem.
Well, I'll make sure I clear some stuff out.
Okay.
So last night, Tiffany, you and I had a discussion, and it was so amazing. Lasagna, you know my story, Dion. Recently I was laid off from a job that I, spent a couple of years with. Like the first episode, I kind of shared some things happened where I needed to, go to work and do some things for my family. And after spending a lot of years in corporate America, I had to go back in there, which is, one of the reasons why we had such a long hiatus from doing this show. But I was sharing that story with Tiffany last night. I don't even know how we got on the conversation.
Yeah.
Because we were trying to work out these technical difficulties, right?
Yes, we were.
But in it, I was sharing with her a prayer that I had prayed before I took the job, because I knew me. I knew that I would get involved and, really try to, do the best I could for the job that I was going to take. And I asked God not to let me be comfortable, and to let me know when it's time for me to go. And
Yeah.
a layoff is like the
Yes. Top notch.
Really argue with that.
It's hard to argue with that. But Tiffany, tell everybody what you said after I gave you that.
Don't get me on what I said afterward. I can tell you though now from here. No, but that same thing happened to me. I got here and I knew I had to get reestablished. From 2017 to 2021, actually, I have been staying with different people. I kept, when I got sick, it like I said, it was 8 surgeries. So it was like anytime I would try to get on my feet, I was going through another 6 to 8 weeks down of healing time and chemo. Now I'm on a chemo pill now, actually, and still. But so when I got here, I had the same thing. I said, God, I know you called me here to do music, you know, to do my destiny. And so I had got a job in the corporate world, and you know, tied me over to, you know, get me going, move me into my place, do the different things and so forth. And sure enough, one day, I kept saying, well, Lord, I know this job, this is not my destiny. I can't get comfortable in this place. And the oddest thing, so we have a bunch of Zoom meetings all the time. They end up saying, my manager ended up saying, telling us all on his team, if you get a meeting invite to the Zoom, go ahead and accept it. So when I did, I still couldn't open it. So he said, well, go ahead and go to lunch. Well, I was actually talking to one of my cousins at lunch, and I said, you know, God did not call me to be here doing this. He called me to do the ministry. When I got back and went on the Zoom meeting, they said, this will be your last day here. I didn't mean God for him to work that quick. I needed to, you know, but he, so I ended up losing my job. And that was a few months ago, about 3 months ago. And I lost my job, and I was just like, oh my goodness. But you know, the powerful thing of that, when he calls you where he calls you to be, you will not miss a beat. I haven't missed a beat on my rent, on any bills, on eating and anything. Everything has been covered, overly covered. I haven't even needed for anything. So it just shows you that when we are doing his work and his will, he will cover us, and he keeps us. He keeps us without skipping a beat, like I like to put it. Like, you know, there's nothing that I've skipped on, and I'm so grateful, you know, to the Father for that. But I felt like me and Shelton was on the same page. I thought that was really weird. But yeah, that's exactly what happened.
Well, and mine was about 3 months away as well. And, you know, what I realized when we
I can't hear you. Oh, there you
I'm
go.
sorry.
Okay.
I said it's time for something, right?
Yes.
It's time for something to happen. There's things happening in the world. The world needs your music. The world needs, you know, the rehab and all the things that we have to bring to the table. And so, and Lasagna said that to me. She encouraged me like the day after. I think I told you, like I was like super confused. But she was like celebrating, like I told you.
See, I love when God says the right people. Yes.
Definitely celebrate. Y'all on the right track now.
Yes. But those doors are they're open for us. You know, he's letting us know it's time to do his work. But it's a very damaging work right now, and very concerning in every avenue. So you know, if we can serve him in any possible way that will lead somebody else's soul to Christ, I think we should be all the way on it without even hesitation. And I still hesitate. I still get nervous and scared.
It's all right. It's all good. Sonia, what you have to say about that?
I think it's amazing. And I'm going to tell you something. Keep being nervous and scared. That means God doing it. I know a young man, he has a voice. He world renowned. He told me something that his mother told him. He says, he did one show and he wasn't nervous. He said that was the worst thing I ever did in my life. He said his mother told him, them butterflies is your God factor. It's telling you it's not you, it's God. He said his mother told him, as long as you're nervous, you know God doing it. Once you get up there and talk, it's okay. But when you stop being nervous, he was like, you doing it yourself. So don't worry about being nervous. God got you and you are a blessing. So long as you feeling that, you all right.
That is so confirmation, because earlier my music manager said the same thing. He said the nervousness lets us know that the Holy Spirit is taking over. And it always has been like that. I actually always love being nervous. And the reason why I say that, because it's out of my control. So I have to trust the Father to do this. Otherwise, what's the point? That's awesome.
Yes,
All right.
yes, love it.
So Tiffany, really have enjoyed this interview. Again, with even all the technical difficulties, I can't wait to listen back through it, and all the good stuff I know is in there, right? And I just thank you for taking the time and sharing a piece of yourself and your gift with us and with our audience. You have something very, very special. And I want to say, I told you this the first time we talked, right? And so, it's all in God's timing, right? We go through things, we deal with things. But the issue is, or the great thing is, we go through it, right?
Yeah.
You go through it to get somewhere, right? And it's brought us right back to this particular space. The music that you're bringing is definitely something that, it's quality, and it's big. It's big for Christians to make sure that we put out a quality product, right? So many times the world looks at our product like it's subpar, but this is ahead of the world. This is ahead of all of your counterparts, and that's the way it's supposed to be, and that's how you know it's God.
Wow.
So super excited to be on this journey with you and to experience, and we're looking forward to seeing some really big things with you. Like Lasagna said, we want to get you back on the show when everything is working just the way it needs to be working, and make sure that we're connected with you as you go with that, and anything you need from us, we want to be able to support you with that. Mr. Dynamite, are you one good leg this week, or Mr. Dynamite? What are we?
I am so godly proud of what God is doing in your life.
Thank you.
I wanted to just share with everyone that this young lady is definitely one of our favorite daughters, and we want to always give her our utmost and undivided attention whenever she wants to be on this platform. We are happy to have her. I'm looking for and expecting God to do something beyond what He's done thus far. So
Thank you.
I'm just sitting here with expectation, even in this moment, even in this time and space. God is getting you on the runway, ready to take off into your next season. Oh my God, I feel something happening on the inside. I'm going to, oh my goodness, look at him, look at him, look at him. Boy, look at him. Boy, look at him. This thing is big. It's big.
Thank you.
It's big.
So,
eyes have not seen, ears have not heard, nor has it entered. Yeah, I think you know. I think he's already shared with you. I'm just gonna, just gonna say that right there.
Well, Tiffany,
go
ahead.
I was going to say, I love all three of y'all. From the first time I have met y'all, it was so exciting. Y'all have made me laugh the whole time. And just also just the love of God. You can see presence of God there. It was such an awesome time the first time I met you. So I am very, very grateful to be on here. At any time you guys want to open up the door to have me come be a bug again, I sure will. Absolutely. And I appreciate you all. I really do. Thank you.
We love that. Now, Tiffany,
Yes.
Will will be very upset with me if I don't get you to tell people how they can follow you, how they can contact you, all that kind of good stuff. Because I'm going to put that all in our in the comments and all in the description and all that kind of stuff. But if you could share that with our audience real quick before you go, that would be awesome. And then Will like me again.
Well, I am on Instagram at I am Tiff Jerrell. That's I am TIFFJERRELL. I also am on. I have through my manager. If we want to do any bookings, it's through N as in Nancy Dimension at gmail.com. If there's anyone who wants to book me, again, that is T as in Tom, N as in Nancy, dimensions.com. And that's the S on that. And that is the way you can reach me right now until I get some more things going on.
TN Dimensions.
Yes.
I know that. Is that guy
Yes.
out of here?
Will?
Yes.
You know that?
Will.
He a short guy?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, I remember
You
him.
got him. You got him.
Okay. All right, Will. All right.
He's been on the show before.
Yeah. Well, God bless him. God bless him. I wish you continued success, Tiffany. I wish you
So much.
all the best. I hope you get everything that you got coming to you.
Oh, thank you so much. So very blessed.
So, Tiffany, go ahead, Lasagna.
No, I was going to tell Tiffany that was the exact word that Dion said is that's your word for this season. Eyes have not seen, ears have not heard, nor have it entered into the heart of man what God have prepared for Tiffany because you love him. Honestly, before Dion said it, that's the word that came to me. So Dion, thank you for the confirmation, and that's your word for this season.
All right,
So,
I will break. Thank you. Thank you.
So we all on one accord.
Yes.
Tiffany, it's been a super pleasure having you on the show tonight. Again, thank you for your patience. Thank you for dealing with all the technical difficulties and things like that. But like I said, I think all the good parts are here, and we're going to make sure that we get that out there to the world. Your music is lovely. It's a blessing to us. It's a blessing to the world. And again, we just wish all the blessings and everything possible for you and yours going forward.
Wow, I appreciate it so much. God bless y'all.
Bless you, sis.
Is somebody typing?
Is somebody typing? No, nobody's typing. So.
I can hear somebody typing. Lasagna, are you typing?
I'm not typing.
She got her hand. She got her hands up in the air. Ain't no typing over here. So Tiffany, you are welcome to stay with us. I was going to bring up a couple of current event things that's been happening here in this world, and just wanted to see what Lasagna and Dion had to think about these things, these happenings going on. So I got to watch this movie, or I guess it's a documentary thing on Netflix that just came out on Wednesday. Sonia, I'm not sure if you keep up with football, but it was about Manti Te'o. Do you keep up with football?
Yeah, I definitely do.
I know you're a Cowboy fan and all of that, but do you keep up with football? Anybody that doesn't play with the Cowboys.
Yeah, of course.
Do you remember Manti Te'o? You don't? So definitely something that I would recommend as far as a watch. And here's why. Um, this was a story, and I think when I start telling you the story, you'll remember what happened basically. But he was a world, I mean, a really really good linebacker that played for Notre Dame. Um, and was up for a Heisman, was a runner-up for the Heisman his senior year, and his senior year he dedicated to his grandmother and his girlfriend who had passed. Well, right before the Heisman Trophy drawing and him, getting ready to go off to the NFL, projected to be a number one draft pick, or at least in the first round draft pick. Really, really good linebacker. He finds out that he was being catfished. He never had a real girlfriend. And the world, basically, went pretty crazy because they were thinking maybe he was, playing on everybody's emotions because, part of him being a really good football player, but a lot of people bought into his story of his grandmother and his girlfriend passing away on the same day. And so this is a two-part story, basically, where they kind of break this all down as to what happened and how it happened. They're interviewing him. And I watch that show Catfish sometime, and I'm guilty of this because I'm like trying to figure out how people get catfished. And after they broke down the story, it was very, very possible. And you get to kind of see him, real good-hearted young man. He was a man of faith, which is why I wanted to bring it up on this show, because when it all came out, he was confused. He was pretty much a victim in it, and the person that was catfishing him, they had them on the show, and that person is now trans, which doesn't have anything to do necessarily with the overall story. But I think my concern with it was, this person really didn't have a lot of remorse for what they did. And as the story went on, he played in the national championship that year against Alabama, had the worst game of his entire career, got into the NFL, got drafted by the Chargers in the second round instead of the first round. So, if you know anything about football, he lost millions of dollars from dropping from the first round to the second round. But even when he got in, he was dealing so much with all of this outside thing. He had anxiety. He actually started having some mental, things that happened to where he just could not perform at the level that he had always performed in his whole life. So, I think, the part that got me though was, again, going back to the person who did this to him. They interviewed the person, and by the end of the show, and I would definitely invite all of you guys to watch it. I know they probably wanted to try to make you feel a little bit, understand that person's reason for doing what they were doing, but his lack of remorse really took me to, a scripture that talks about the last days where men are going to be lovers of themselves. Like in his conversation, even knowing what he did to this man's life and how all the things that he took this person through, it was still always about him. Even at the end, he said this was, his opportunity to be who he always, wanted to be, or, this type of thing, just almost really disregarding all the things that he did, how he stepped over someone else, I guess, quote unquote, trying to find himself, So very, very interesting movie. Me and Carla watched it, and we were both, Carla is my wife. She was upset. She was pissed off at the guy and everything. But I just saw a bigger situation here, and it was kind of like a sign of the times that we're in right now, where people are very unempathetic about the things that they do to other people, or how they're so me oriented. They don't understand how that affects everyone else. So I was hoping one of y'all saw the show, but maybe y'all didn't. But if you did, or just based off of that, what are your thoughts?
Why would either one of them watch?
It's a very, I mean,
It is interesting, yes, but it was about football and stuff, and that just no, that has nothing. Did you see the blank look in their eyes when you were talking? Yeah, he played for this team and that team, and they're just like,
well, to be honest,
I thought it was good.
no, sir. I was trying to figure out what that type of noise was coming from, but anyway.
So you do know, man.
Yeah, we all hear typing too, but I'm not sure where it's coming from, but I can hear it. But none of us are typing.
I think, from what you were saying, I heard something like that, but I didn't know, all the ins and outs of it or whatever. I mean, you kind of hear stuff at the beginning or so, and, then it kind of goes away. You don't hear the resolution or the end of it. But, yeah, man, I thought when you were saying that, right before he got drafted or whatever, he ended up hurt or something, or he couldn't play. But to have it go this way, it's even worse. To still get that opportunity, and because you're so messed up in the head, you can't do what you need to do in the physical.
Yeah. I mean, that's what it basically boiled down to. He might as well have gotten hurt. I mean, if you, and I'm a Michigan fan, right? So they played Notre Dame quite often. Notre Dame is somebody that I didn't really like, but when I saw him play, the guy was very special out there on the field, right? And on top of that, I don't want us to overlook this. He was a devout Christian, right? When you hear him talk, when you hear, what he believed in, like even to his choice of college, like he had his every top college wanted him coming out of high school, right? And USC is where he wanted to go. And what really reminded me of this is when we talked to Tiffany earlier, he prayed and asked God, like, what college should I go through? And Notre Dame was like at the bottom of the list. Like at this point, Notre Dame was not the school it used to be. It was losing a lot of games and things. And he lived in Hawaii, grew up in Hawaii. Notre Dame is in South Bend, Indiana. Sorry, Lasagna, but it's cold up there, and it's. And so all of that was stuff that he really, he prayed about, and God led him there, right? But as I'm listening and watching this story, he went through some really tough things, taking that walk, and I don't want to end or spoil the ending for you. But even his response at the end of all of this, everything, his football career not going away, it probably should have went or could have went at this particular time. His response to it is really going to bless you if you really watch this show, because it's definitely, as Christians, how we should respond to situations like that, even situations where someone comes and purposely, does something that hurts and affects us in the way that it does. I mean, look, I don't want to give you too many details, but let me put it this way. His grandmother died, right? And a couple of hours later, this person that was catfishing him had him basically call this man and tell him that his girlfriend died. All because they wanted this on the same day that his grandmother really died. Like, how callous and cold can you be to put someone through that when they're really dealing with somebody close to them that passed, So again, for our listeners, for our people out there, go check it out. If you haven't checked it out, comment. I'll probably bring it back up, next week and just see what your thoughts are. But ladies, y'all being quiet. I mean, I'm kind of giving y'all the synopsis, but you got anything that comes to mind when y'all hear that story or what happened there?
I thought about it while you were talking, and we're raising a lot of narcissistic young people in our society today. Everything's about me, myself, and I, which is sad because it's hurting them. Now, he hurt him for a short time, but that's going to hurt his life for a long time because even his frame of thinking, when you hurt someone, you're not even sorry about it. You don't even feel the pain that you cause them. You don't even know the depths of what you cause somebody else to feel in their life. And I think social media, it plays into that. Everybody wants to be a star. We want to be overnight success. You want that microwave success and fame, even if it's illegitimate. I will steal your life, lie on you, get ahead to do anything, sell your mama to be at the top. What is the top? It's probably the bottom, because in God's eyesight, he said, let the least of these be counted the greatest among you. So you're trying to strive for something at the top of the world when it's really at the bottom. It's when you're the greatest. See, where everybody want to run to the top, but nobody want to run to their knees. That's when you greatest, is when you crushed, it's when you press, it's when you feel like you last. But everybody want a quick route to the top, get the fame, get on TV. That young man was excited that he was on TV being interviewed for destroying somebody's life temporarily. And he didn't really destroy it, because as long as you got God, they can take anything from you. They can't take God from you, so you always win. I don't care who you are, you winning if you got God. But it's just sad how I can see it in the younger generation. No empathy. You don't feel. And I think because COVID made it kind of tough too. You're not talking to people. You're not interacting with people. And so now your silo is even bigger. And so now touch is important. Hugging is important. Shaking hands is important. Not that we should do it all, but when you can't touch and feel the emotions of people, you can get cold and callous, and then you do stuff like that and think nothing of it. It's like, well, I got to be what I want to be. Sorry about you, man, whatever. But every man, be not deceived, God's not mocked. You reap what you sow. He gonna feel the same thing he made him feel, and the gravity that he made him feel it. But the problem is, when you don't have God, he may not be able to take it when it come back for him. So I think the story was profound. The way you said, I'm not a football person, but I like stories and I like backgrounds, and I always like to hear what people's response is. It doesn't matter what happens to you. It matters how you respond to it. Life is 10% of what happens to you, but 90% of how you respond to what happens will determine the outcome. So I thought it was an amazing story. So
You're absolutely spot on, Lasagna. Again, just watching it, it's not a football story, right? And I mean, again, even if you didn't watch football or you didn't know football at all, you would definitely be able to empathize with this person in anything that you're doing. And it gave me a new empathy for people being catfished and people having certain things being manipulated or lied to or just for someone's ego. So it's definitely a good watch. I would definitely recommend it. Just from the standpoint of as a Christian, what our response should be, and some of the things that we can go through in life, and like you said, Lasagna, it's really about the response. That's what separates us from the world and how we deal with things. There's a lot of things that are meant to kill people. But because we're with God, because we're in God, because He's in us, it doesn't kill us, right? And people get surprised and wonder why we push through or we become even more successful, or we write worldwide songs or songs that can go worldwide. It's because of the God that's in us. And so definitely, I don't do this often, but it's I think a recommended show on Netflix. I'm not even a big Netflix fan, but you get an opportunity. I can't say that. We need some sponsorship from Netflix. My bad. Beyonce, I'll take that back. I am a big fan of Netflix, but let me say personally, I just don't get to watch a lot of TV.
I don't like it.
Right. So that's
can't disparage, you know.
right. So Netflix, you great, you're awesome. But this is definitely something that I would recommend for you guys to watch. Tiffany, you got any thoughts there? You got any thoughts?
No, I'm sorry. I can barely hear you.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was just wondering if you had any thoughts about what we.
Oh no, I mean that was so broken down, so lovely. I'm just wow. Like the way LaSonia put that is excellent. I just I don't have anything else to say about that. No.
Well, that's all good, and you know, LaSonia
I didn't hear you. I'm sorry.
I just was saying, stop playing with us. I mean, listen, you okay? I'm gonna let you make it. But you know.
Now, LaSonia's the poet of the group, so she be putting some words together.
She did for sure. I have nothing else to say. I don't. I have nothing else to say. I apologize. You too a little. My dog, he needs to go out, so he's starting to act a little up. So I'm glad he just decided to be quiet for a little bit, because I apologize for that. If you hear him starting to bark, I gotta get him outside in a little bit.
Well, Dion's listening to my dog like whine in the back room because.
Oh really?
He want to get out here and let Dion pat him, but Dion won't pat him, and so yeah.
I just
what you got against dogs, Dion?
I don't know what is wrong with your dog, but
he's the sweetest dog.
Your dog has got a problem, man. Your dog has got a problem. And I know you hate to hear someone say, "Your dog got a problem."
What's his problem? Explain. What's his problem?
I don't want to get into it with you, brother.
I don't want no trouble. Lovey-dovey bear.
I don't want no trouble, sir. I don't want no trouble. I'm just telling you, your dog got a problem, sir.
Son, you do my dog got a problem?
No, sir. I plead the fifth. The dog is fine. I'll have nothing else to say. These dogs are wonderful. The dog is doing great. Dion's doing great. It's all great.
You all over here on Peter ain't gonna take us off the earth. They can't do nothing to us. We're not harming the dog. That dog is all right. He got a problem though.
Oh, that's
that
funny.
dog got a problem too. He over there whimpering and whining, trying to get out. So look at her. She about to jump off the camera. That dog got a problem.
My dog doesn't have a problem this time. I don't know if he keeps ringing the dog bell to go out the potty. So
He said now.
Wait a minute, your dog know how to ring a bell?
Yeah, I taught him how to hit the dog bell. There's a bell you can put on your front door, and he rings it when he needs to go.
Oh, that's a smart dog.
Yeah.
He's a
dog next time.
You gonna let Bacon interview him? We're not gonna do that. We're not gonna waste this YouTube time with that place.
All right. Well, that's it for our episode of tonight's re-up. I'm again super happy, Tiffany, that you got to join us. I hope you had a really good time. I know we had a good time with you. I want to implore our audience, make sure when this single drops, let's go out and
listen.
You know,
The one I heard, the one I didn't.
the one you heard.
Oh.
The one's coming out September 1st. Stop getting on.
Listen, man, I'm deep in my feelings. I ain't even finna front. Okay, I'm deep in them. I'm deep in them, man.
Get out your feelings.
I will send them personally to you if you need them.
All right, go on do that. Go on do that.
They already telling us you're not masculine.
I kill him. I mean, I'm not kidding. I'm sorry, Lord. I'm sorry. sometimes you gotta kill people and get on the altar. Sometimes you gotta, just
Oh,
cut them
Lord.
up and let go lay on the altar.
Oh,
Lasagna,
Lord.
Lasagna, he told the man on the comment that he got the Peter spirit.
Mm-hmm.
He
Oh,
gonna
yeah,
cut
he
the man
probably
ear
did
off.
tell me that. He's telling
Don't
the
play
truth.
with the.
He's got the
Because
Peter spirit.
here's my thing. Here's my thing. Is that I don't care whether you like, love, or hate the re-up. It doesn't matter to me. And you can have an opinion about anything we do or say. It's okay. It doesn't have to all be glowing and, oh my God, you guys are so great. It doesn't have to be like that. But you will not come on this platform or anything that I'm on and try to bully me or anybody else. That's not going to happen. Like that, no. No.
Oh, I'm
Period.
sorry. I'm sorry, but I done opened
Period.
up the whole wound all over
Period.
here.
Yeah, Dion, he don't play like that. Dion be like,
No.
Dion is like, Dion is our protector. Ain't that right, Sean? He the one you put up front. You be like, go on, get him, Dion. Go ahead. What they said, Dion.
I mean, his comment started off all right. It started off all right, but then he took a turn. He started going personal. He started, you guys, it's a bunch of blah blah blah, and you need the. I said, oh yeah, brother, you got the right ones today. You picked the right show to get on today. Yeah,
Yes,
you
sir.
coming right down my street. Yeah, come on, come knock on the door.
We love them, though. We love it. We have a ball. We do. We welcome controversy. Like, we don't run from it. It's like, it's good because it means you're listening, you're in tune, and you're paying attention to something. Sometimes people do it to get attention. But whatever it is, you hear something we're saying, and we're trying to build the kingdom. So if you hear, even if it's negative, you heard something that may come up later in life. So it's okay. Keep writing, keep saying it, and we do have a good time, and most people love it, and the ones that don't, it's fine too. It's all good. We gonna work with that too.
Right. Normally you get like real big before you get haters. Like, so that's why I got excited.
We worldwide.
Exactly. Okay.
When you have an internet, show, it's worldwide. We already worldwide. You feel me?
That's true.
If we was just on KNON or KNOK or whatever the case may be, we would only be right here. But we everywhere all at one time. Oh my God.
Yes.
I say we everywhere all at one time. Somebody help me say it.
Oh, that bishop, one bad leg. No, good leg.
One good leg.
Woo, I got
Lasagna, you're right though, because if he got one good leg, that means he got one bad one too.
One
There you go.
Yes.
All right, y'all. That's our episode for the re-up tonight. Again, thank you so much, Tiffany, for joining the show.
Yes.
Welcome back, Lasagna and Dion. It's so good having the whole team this week, and we'll be back here again next Saturday or next Friday. Oh, yeah, next Friday.
I thought you were trying to switch it up.
Trying to switch it up. Next Friday at 7 p.m. Central
Standard time.
Yeah. Go out there and get that Tiffany Jerrell, y'all.
Yeah.
And breathe.
That fire, y'all.
Show them the breathe. Show them the breathe dance again. It's the breathe dance, y'all.
Welcome to TheReuPLive, the talk show, where we're kicking it and having fun on inspirational radio.